Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will discuss some tricks and basic concepts regarding the graphs of physical chemistry. Some students have sent me, sir, we don't understand, or it is very problematic to us that thermodynamics graph or the graphs of gases plus 11 gases, chemical kinetics plus 12 chapter, chemical kinetics from plus 12, surface chemistry, all these things. Basically, if we understand some relations, if we understand some mathematical equations properly, then it would not be a problematic to us. So my dear students, the graphs of chemical kinetics I will discuss, obviously, I will discuss in my video of chemical kinetics. So please keep watching. Okay, and in this video, I am going to discuss the tricks to remember for the graphs of gaseous laws, states of matter, or for the graphs of thermodynamics related. Clear? So basically, we need to understand some mathematical equations like straight line, like parabola, like rectangular, hyperbola. Okay, so let's start. I hope you like it. Straight line equation, if y equals to mx plus c, y equals to mx plus c, that means the straight line will look like, this is y-axis, this is x-axis, and that will look like that. Y equals to mx plus c, this m is known as the slope or tan theta. M is known as the slope, and slope means tan theta. Is it clear? This slope increasing, any point dy by dx, dy by dx, dy by dx, that is the slope. And this c is known as the intercept. So this is the intercept distance. From origin, this is the intercept distance. Okay, so you can think that if it is y equals to minus mx plus c, y equals to minus mx plus c, that means what is going to happen? This straight line will be in the negative part. Negative part. The slope is decreasing because it is minus m. Okay? And if this c is absent, y equals to mx. So what is c? C was this part intercept. C was this part intercept. So if this c is absent, then it would be like y, x. It would be like that. As this c is absent, then it will pass through the origin. Any doubt? Clear? So this is straight line formation. Now what is meant by hyperbolic equation? What is meant by parabolic equation? यहाँ पर कौन से equation पे parabola आने वाला है? If we look, y equals to mx square. Y equals to what? mx square. Then whatever the value of x, if it is minus, then y is also positive, and if it is plus, then y is also positive, because x square, ये x square के साथ directly proportional है. So that is why this is x, this is y. So कोई भी x के value के लिए y is directly proportional, y is positive. So that is why the parabolic nature would be like that. the parabolic nature would be like that. Okay, so if y equals to mx square, so नेगेटिव x के लिए वो भी y पॉजिटिव है और पॉजिटिव x के लिए वो भी y पॉजिटिव है, isn't it? So if some equation is following y equals to mx square, then positive portion if we consider only, then it will be like that. Any doubts? Clear? और अगर y equals to y square equals to mx है, y square equals to mx है, तब y के कुछ भी वैल्यू के लिए x will be positive, y negative then x also positive, if y positive then also x positive. So in this case the portion will be like that. Y is x is positive if this is x axis. Clear? This is y positive के लिए part और this is y negative के लिए x का part. So y कुछ भी हो, whatever the value of y, if y is positive then this curve, if y is negative then this curve, because y square equals to mx. Got my point? So these are parabolic in nature. Straight line, parabolic, done. If you have any query, then let me know in the comment section, please. Don't hesitate. Now come to the rectangular hyperbolic nature part. What is that? If xy equals to constant, if xy equals to constant, then it would be like that. Y, x, like that. If some equation is following xy equals to constant, pv equals to k. So p versus v क्या होता है? Parabolic in nature. I will show it. So it is known as rectangular hyperbolic in nature. Got my point? Okay. So if you know or if you understand these equations properly, then no graph will be problematic to you related to these chapters. No graph. Say for example, just we need to remember PV equals to nRT, nothing else. PV equals to nRT. Then you know that at constant temperature from 910 plus 910 we know that this is ideal gas equation. So if V is separated, then I can write this. So if N is constant, R is constant, then P is also constant if then volume and T is directly proportional because NRP is constant. So I can say that V equals to a constant into temperature. Any query? Similarly, if we separate P like that, then P and T directly proportional when volume is constant. So that's why P equals to K2. So V versus T जैसा ग्राफ होगा P versus T वैसा ही ग्राफ होगा, because at keeping pressure constant here pressure is kept constant, N are the constant, and here volume is kept constant. Okay, so if someone is asking us what is the nature of V versus T graph, you can easily draw, because why? This part is y and this part is x. So y equals to mx, y equals to mx, and there is no c part. So y equals to mx. It should be passing through origin, but actually volume cannot be zero. This is the negative part. Volume cannot be negative, and volume of substance cannot be zero completely. That is why it doesn't touch this origin part. So V versus T, what is the nature of the graph? If MCQ comes, what is the nature of the graph? Straight line. Straight line. Clear? Now if someone is asking you what is the nature of Vt versus T square, आ सकता ही है Vt versus T square. So Vt and T square. So V equals to Kt we know. So that is why V equals to Kt we know. So Vt क्या होगा? एक T उधर भी लाना पड़ेगा, तो Vt equals to Kt square. So it is y axis, it is x axis, it is y axis, it is x axis. So that's why again y equals to mx. So again Vt versus T square will be a straight line. Got it? So if someone is asking you that V by T versus T, then what will be the nature of V by T versus T? Then again V equals to Kt. That means V by T equals to what? K. That means constant. So V by T, T के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट नहीं है, इसलिए V by T versus T would be parallel to x-axis because V by T is constant. Got my point? And if someone is asking you that, sir, what is the nature of Vt versus T? It's a good question. What is the nature of Vt versus T? Then again, show that Vt equals to Kt square. That means Vt equals to, I can write it like that, Vt equals to Kt square. So this is y, this is m, and here x is what? Here x is t. That is why the equation is following y equals to mx square. So y equals to mx square will be like that. Y equals to mx square, I have just recently said that y equals to mx square will be like that. Parabolic in nature. Clear? I have seen that V equals to Kt. Also, you can see that P equals to K prime T. Because V equals to Kt when? At constant pressure. And P equals to Kt when? At constant volume. So, जो नेचर V और T के लिए हुआ है, वही नेचर P और T के लिए भी होगा. क्योंकि y equals to mx, here also y equals to mx. So if someone is asking you what is the nature of Pt versus T, then it is also parabolic because Vt versus T is also parabolic because P equals to this one, so Pt equals to this one, so y m x square because here x is not T square. If x is T square, then it would be straight line. But if x is T, then it would be parabolic in nature. I hope it is clear. So, जो ग्राफ V और T के लिए बना है, वही ग्राफ आप P और T के लिए भी बनाएंगे. Pt versus T is just similar to Vt versus T. V by T versus T, that is P by T versus T. Okay. And what is the value of PV? PV curve y ऐसे क्यों होता है? Because PV equals to constant. So xy equals to constant. That means rectangular hyperbola. Just I have said this. So PV would be like that. If P and 1 by V is there, then what is happening? PV equals to K. So P equals to K by V, or I can write P equals to K into 1 by V. That means Y equals to mx. because here x is 1 by v. So that is why it will pass through again origin, or v versus 1 by p will also like that, but does not touch origin because v कभी zero नहीं हो सकता. Clear? So if p v square versus v, pv equals to k. So pv square equals to what? kv. That means y mx. So pv square again, straight line. But suppose someone is asking us this one, p square v versus v. So p v equals to k. So p square v equals to kp. But here not p square v versus p. अगर p square v versus p होगा तो straight line y equals to mx. But here p square v equals to, again we need to put here k by v, because p square v is the y axis and v is the x axis, isn't it? So y equals to some constant by x. Y, this is y axis and this is x axis. So y and x अगर मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे तो एक कांस्टेंट आएगा, तो अगर y x मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे कांस्टेंट आएगा तो क्या होगा? रेक्टेंगुलर हाइपरबोला. गॉट इट? सो अगर pv वर्सेस p बोलता है, so that would be constant because pv का वैल्यू क्या है? कांस्टेंट. So pv कांस्टेंट, p बढ़ेगा v डिक्रीज होगा and vice versa. So pv will be constant, will not be affected by p. But all of these are applicable for ideal gas. Remember, all of these are applicable for ideal gas. Okay. If p versus t, and this is done like that. This graph is done by keeping volume constant V1. This is done by keeping volume constant V2. And this line is drawn by keeping volume constant V3. So the question is there whether it is V1 greater than V2 greater than V3 or whether V1 is less than V2 than V3. Okay, so this is this type of graph generally comes in competitive exam. So for that what we need to do? We need to apply a small trick. Just constant any p. Suppose this point, keeping p constant. p को constant करके अगर यहाँ पर हम जाए तो V1 corresponding जो टेम्परेचर होगा वो है T1. Again, by keeping constant pressure, V2 वहां पर जो टेम्परेचर होगा वो होगा T2. और again constant, which is constant, P constant. So keeping constant pressure, you got extrapolated this line. यहाँ पर जो काट कर रहा है उसका जो corresponding टेम्परेचर होगा वो होगा T1. इस लाइन को जब काट करेगा तो उसका जो corresponding टेम्परेचर होगा वो होगा T2. और इस लाइन को काट करेगा उसका जो corresponding टेम्परेचर होगा वो होगा T3. Isn't it? So keeping pressure constant, you know that volume and temperature is directly proportional. If we keep the pressure constant, then volume and temperature is directly proportional. So which one is higher here? T3 greater than T2 greater than T1. That means V3 greater than V2 greater than V1. So
So that is the right option, but this is not. Got my point? अगर प्रेशर कांस्टेंट रखते हैं, प्रेशर को चेंज नहीं करते हैं, तो टेम्परेचर और वॉल्यूम क्या होता है? डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल. ओके, सो यहाँ पर T3 ज्यादा है, इसका मतलब V3 will be high. So V3 greater than V2 will be lower. Okay, so this type of graph will not be a problematic to you. I think if you watch this video till the end, then this type of graph will not be problematic to you. Okay, so in my next video, then I will make this type of video like graph. I will discuss more complex graph, which is very much important and have already come in different competitive exams. Okay, so keep in touch with me, keep watching. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot.